This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
This show is brought to you by Pet King Brands, the makers of Zymox and Oratine.
It's Oh Behave with Arden Moore, the show that teaches you how to have harmony in the household with your pets. Join Arden as she travels coast to coast to help millions better understand why cats and dogs do what they do. Get the latest scoop on famous faces, their perfectly pampered pets, and who's walking who in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails. Garner great pet tips and have a doggone fur-flying fun time. So get ready for the pause and applause as we unleash your Oh Behave host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome to the Oh Behave show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Now, this is a first for our show. And as you all know, we are the longest running pet podcast on the planet. Take those, poppin' peas. We've been on the air since 2007. And today, we're not going to spotlight dogs or cats or even birds. We're going to spotlight pigs. Yeah. And our two special guests today have quite a tale to tell. They're going to shed light on the plight of far too many pet pigs in a first-of-its-kind reality show. It's a series that has, oh my gosh, the most spot-on name. Ready for it, everybody? Listen carefully. Pig Little Lies. Yep, you heard me. Pig Little Lies. So please welcome to our show the founder of Unchained TV. She is Jane Velez-Mitchell. And the founder of Saving Animals and Healing Hearts, Teri Crutchfield. Welcome. Welcome, 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 ladies.
We are so thrilled to be here, and thank you for talking about this incredible, just hideous problem, Arden, but there's a happy side. Like Unchained TV did the first reality show starring a family of pigs. It's fun.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about Beatrice and Dante. Yeah, for sure. Hey, we're going to find out a little bit about a pig family, and the couple are called Beatrice and Dante. But we first got to pay for this show, and we got to take this commercial break. So just sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Time for a pause. For furry ones, actually, sit and stay. Oh Behave will be right back.
Pause up, pet pals. Arden Moore here to talk about the importance of keeping your cats and dogs hydrated. Yes, clean water is great, but not all pets, especially cats, will lap up enough water every day from the bowl. Or maybe your dog is thirsty after a long walk. That's why I'm a big fan of two new isotonic drinks called Kitty Raid and Doggy Raid. And there is a great meal topper to enhance kibble called Yummy Raid. They all contain electrolytes and amino acids plus prebiotics. And they're all veterinary approved. Nice, right? Now, my furry Brady Bunch love them. Find out where you can get your paws on these healthy, hydrating drinks and gravy-like meal topper by visiting doggyraid.com. That's DOGGYRADE.com. Drink up, pets.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. Oh Behave is back with more tail-wagging ways to achieve harmony in the household with your pets. Now back to your fetching host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Our special guests today are on a mission to save pigs. They are also on a mission to educate us on how we can help. And they do it so beautifully by presenting the story of a couple of pigs. It's a couple, literally, husband, wife, if it's going to become, maybe there's going to be pig marriages down the road. I don't know. I'm open to anything. But they're named Beatrice and Dante. And all of what's happened to them is captured in a 5-part reality show I want you to really check out. And it's on Unchained TV. Just go to unchainedtv.com. We're bringing in also a gal that knows a lot about pigs. And she has a huge heart. She cares for a lot of critters on this planet that have been disposed of, discarded, whatever. And she does it in a place in Ramona, California. And her place is called Saving Animals and Healing Hearts. And she is, of course, Teri Crutchfield. And we're going to talk with both of y'all and after the show. So you got homework, guys. Go to unchainedtv.com. And then I want you to go to, help me out, Teri. Give me your link.
It's S as in Sam, A as in Apple, H as in Henry, the number 4, life, life.org.
You did that to make me challenge, didn't you? We're definitely going to repeat both of them, but let's get going. So first of all, Miss Jane. Jane is a pretty amazing gal. She not only is doing this series on Unchained TV, someplace called CNN, she used to host. She's a New York Times bestselling author, but there's something that got you, didn't it, Jane? Tell us a little bit about Unchained TV and then what happens with you going to the pigs.
Yeah, well, thank you, Arden. Unchained TV is a free, 100% free global streaming network. You can get it on your phone. If you have an iPhone, you go to the App Store. If you have an Android phone, go to Google Play. You can get it on your TV via the Roku device, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV device, or if you have a Samsung or LG Smart TV, or you can just go to unchainedtv.com and click watch now. And there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos, and it's all free. And we are a nonprofit. We are trying to wake people up about the terrible things that happen to pigs and other farmed animals, but do it in a way that's fun and entertaining. So we came up with Pig Little Lies, the world's first reality show starring a family of pigs, because here's what's going on. There's a huge national, even global scam. People are breeding pot-bellied pigs who can grow to be 150, even 200 pounds. And then when they're infants, when they're tiny little infants just born, okay, even an elephant is tiny when it's just born. And then they're selling them for $1,000, $2,000 to people saying, this is a micro pig, a teacup pig, a pocket pig. They have a million names for them. This is as big as he's going to get. So people who have apartments go, oh, they're so cute, because there's nothing cuter than a piglet. Honestly, they are the cutest, most adorable, most sensitive, intelligent animals. They're far smarter than dogs. They have the emotional and intellectual development of a toddler human child. And they say, oh, how cute, we're going to take them home. Then the animal starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then, of course, they reach puberty, and males will become, frisky, to put it mildly. And then what they do is
the show's called Oh Behave. Go for it.
Yeah. Then they say, we can't handle this. They dump them at the shelter where they're killed. So even as we were taking Beatrice and Dante out, we saw other pigs going in, and they are screaming because they are family pets and they are members of the household. And all of a sudden they're dumped at the shelter and they're terrified. And this is all because of greed.
No, it's greed and uninformed. Greed and uninformed, because, just when we were young, people would get little baby chicks and then they grew up to be chickens, but this is like a steroid situation almost. This is like chicks on steroids. There is no such thing as a teacup pig. Can I just get that out? Is that correct? Am I right?
Yes,
you're right.
All right. So let's bring in Teri into the mix. Teri, God love you. I love what you're doing at Saving Animals and Healing Hearts. And you had a few sayings I saw. I was noodling around your website and listening to some things about you. You say that your mission is hope is where the heart is, and be the change you want to see in this world, because that's the only way we'll survive. So from your perspective, Jane gave us a pretty good tee up on what's happening with pigs, pet pigs. Boy, that's a lot of peas I'm popping today. Teri, tell us the truth. What's the skinny on pigs?
The skinny is that they are never going to be really that skinny. Those are pigs.
Me neither.
Me either, right? And so what it has happened is that everybody sees a celebrity with a cute little tiny pig, and they're influenced by that. And we're going to get a baby pig. And the breeders out there, they're in it just for money, are giving them away, like even selling them at just a couple of weeks of age, saying they're 6, 8, 12 weeks old. And here they can go ahead and eat their pellets. A lot of them die. A lot of them, they also get told, we can't guarantee the size unless you feed our diet. And their diet is basically a starvation diet.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's roll the tape back. How did you get where you are? How did you get to, we only have a half hour on the show. Tell people Saving Animals and Healing Hearts is in kind of like a San Diego area, but inland, and Ramona. And I don't know when the last time you've had an 8-hour sleep. Don't you have some animal waking you up early in the morning and keeping you awake late at night?
Pretty much that is true, yes.
What's the place like?
For a long time. And in 2012, I got my very first pig and fell into his eyes and fell in love and then started realizing what was really out there. I had no idea that there was so much issue, just like they do dogs and everything else, they overbreed. There was a lot of horse rescues around, like, well, you got a lot more of you than you do of pig rescues. And while we still rescue everything, we started focusing more on pigs.
And you are a nonprofit. And I do want people to know that, because when you go to that very funky website that you gave me, which is S as in Sam, A as in Arden, HH4 life.org. Did I do it right?
You did.
Okay. You can help a lot in different ways. And I know you've got some kind of group that it almost sounds like a very fancy vodka, but it's Patronian. What is this group?
Patreon.
Okay, sounds like a vodka. But it's a group that recognizes what you're doing. And so there are ways we're going to talk about that we can help. So then you meet up with a gal named Jane. Move over Tarzan, because Jane is really the queen of the jungle and she's really there to save the planet. Jane, you went from being in front of the camera on CNN and other things. Something got your heart too, didn't it?
Yes. Well, I realized that we have to expand our circle of compassion beyond dogs and cats. I have a cat. I'm looking at her right now.
You're looking at me, you're looking at me. Okay.
I have 2 dogs, Rico and Foxy. Rico's from Puerto Rico, Foxy's from Fresno, and I love them. They are my children. But we have to expand our circle of compassion beyond those, because the vast majority of animals are not dogs and cats.
Correct.
They're cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, goats, and lambs. You know, we're 8 billion humans on this planet, but we are raising and institutionalized torture and killing 80 billion animals every year for food. And more animals die in one day than all the human beings who have died in all the wars in human history. Wow. So my feeling is, and it's coming back to haunt us. It's coming back with pandemics, antibiotic resistance. Almost 80% of the antibiotics are fed to farmed animals. So what's happening is people who eat the animals are getting the antibiotics, and then they're going to the hospital with pneumonia and they're dying. It might be listed as you're dying of pneumonia, but the antibiotics stop working. And this is a global crisis. So it's coming back to hit us with climate change, with wildfires, with drought. Do you know how much cows consume in terms of water and how much they pollute with their feces? Here in California, we're in the midst of a drought. We have wildfires everywhere here in the Western United States, as well as in Europe, and people aren't connecting the dots. So if you're upset about the fact that you can't walk out of your house because you're going to pass out from the heat, if you're upset about your concerns about your house being swept up in a fire, if you're concerned about drought, if you're concerned about habitat destruction, wildlife extinction, also human world hunger, if we weren't mass producing these 80 billion animals every year, we could live in a world of natural abundance where everybody had enough to eat. We could stop world hunger. All of our problems, even societal violence. If you look at serial killers, and I covered crime for decades, and you look at these mass shooters in their history, they always have animal torture. So our disrespect of other beings called animals, and we're animals too, has resulted in almost all of the problems we face as a society. But at Unchained TV, we don't want to lecture. We want to have people fall in love with pigs, because the best way to get people to stop eating bacon and pig hot dogs is to say, oh, it's like, who are you eating?
That's right. They are sentient beings. And Jane, so you've got this mission. I feel a sense of little passion. But you need to get the message across in a way that people will embrace. And that's where your skills as a journalist, as a producer. So how did you come up with the idea of a 5-part series, Pig Little Lies, starring the, oh my gosh, move over Brad Pitt, Dante and Beatrice? So how did you come up with that idea? And then we're going to talk with Teri and how you brought Teri in, because there was a situation going on. We needed somebody to bring harmony back into the hog heaven or pig heaven.
Yes. Well, great questions, Arden. So here's how it happened. We have a streaming network. We have hundreds of videos, but most of these networks like Netflix and Amazon Prime, they're made by one hit series like House of Cards or Succession or The Morning Show or whatever. So we were having a meeting. We've got this incredible technology. We need a hit show. So I call one of my best friends, Simone Reyes, who is a vegan country star. I say, Simone, we need to come up with something exciting and new. We need like a reality show. And she goes, I can't talk right now. Okay, Jane, I'm trying to rescue these 2 pigs. They're in a high kill shelter. They're set to be killed any minute now. We've got to get them out. And I said, wait a second. Hold on, that's our show. Let's just videotape you doing all this. And that's exactly what we did. We have this incredible producer, Eamon McChrystal. He's an Emmy-winning producer, and he's an Irishman. And boy, he's good. He's good. He knows what he's doing. So he happened to live. We pull the pigs out, and that's not easy. You can't walk out with them in a leash. We get them to Cindy Brady, and she's this wonderful dramatic.
Wait a minute, we got to make sure people realize Cindy Brady is not the one from that 60s show. She actually has a wildlife refuge, I guess. And so I just want to make sure there's no Brady Bunch confusion.
No, but this was like the Brady Bunch with pigs instead of people. But so we get Dante and Beatrice to Cindy's house. She's a wildlife rehabber, but she agrees to take him in. She happens to be near where Eamon, our producer, lives. And so we start shooting this because every time there's another development. So all of a sudden we thought, okay, we got them out. Case closed. No, she's pregnant. She's pregnant and she has a baker's dozen of babies.
Okay, hang on, because we got to take a break because I wanted to tee that up. But we want you guys to know that Miss Beatrice was with child, Minnie, and she landed in Cindy Brady's house, not the Brady Bunch. And we're going to find out what happened. And then how did Teri get involved after we take this quick break? So everybody sit, think very nice things about pigs and our planet. And we'll be right back.
Time for a walk on the red carpet, of course. All Behave will be back in a flash right after these messages.
Hey, pet pals, Arden Moore here. Is your dog or cat prone to ear infections? Does your pet resist having his ears cleaned when they're inflamed or irritated? Are you also concerned about the overuse of antibiotics? Help is here. Zymox ear care products offer soothing relief. And hey, you're going to love this part. They don't require the ear to be cleaned before you apply the drops. It's as easy as fill, rub, and done. That means less touching of those sensitive ears to help create a soothing, fear-free experience. Apply just once a day. Zymox gets its effectiveness from enzymes, not antibiotics. That means no side effects and no antibiotic resistance. You can find these veterinary recommended products at your veterinary clinic, most pet specialty retailers, and online. And here's a real treat. Yeah, I did say the word treat. Save 20% off any Zymox or Oratine product on Zymox.com. Just use the code ARDEN20 at checkout. That's ARDEN20. To learn more, visit Zymox.com. That's ZYMOX.com. Pause up.
Tevra Pet knows there's a lot in your life that you worry about. We want to make sure your pet's flea and tick protection isn't one of them. Tevra Pet offers vet-quality flea and tick protection that has the same active ingredients as leading brands like Canine Advantix 2 and Frontline Plus, but that cost much less, which means you can give your pet total flea protection worry-free. Tevra Pet, helping you and your pet live your best life.
Online at tevrapet.com. That's TEVRA pet.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, this is John O'Hurley reminding you you're listening to the O Behave Show with Arden Moore on Pet Life Radio.
We're back from the lot. Just checked the paper and we had a record showing at the box. The letterbox, that is. Now back to O Behave. Here's Arden.
Welcome back to the O Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. I'm getting an earful. I'm getting a snoutful. And I'm loving it. Because, guys, you ready for the story of Beatrice and Dante? So, a nice person, Simone Reyes, she connected with Cindy Brady. This sounds like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Oh, bacon, don't say that word. Coming up. And she brought Beatrice and Dante to her place. And I understand the only space she really had, it was like Jesus in the manger. Beatrice had to give her babies who were born in a laundry room.
That is correct. Beatrice had to go into the laundry room because we had to move Dante to another part of the of her property because it's a small, tiny room and you don't want two pigs running around when mama's about to give birth.
Oh, no.
Sydney, who is this absolutely lovely woman, and she has this wonderful Germanic accent.
You can hear her heart.
Yes, you can hear her heart. So she was like midwifing Beatrice during this whole process. And then finally, she said she passed out and went to sleep, and then the babies were born, and she woke up the next
and
morning.
How many little piglets?
There were approximately 13 piglets, and the mother only had, I think, 11 teats. I may be off by one piglet. Anyway, one piglet ended up going to a woman's house, Jamie, a good friend of Cindy. She said, I'll hold her for a couple of days. She fell in love with, I think the name was Violet she gave her.
Okay.
And then Cindy said, okay, time to bring that pig back. She said, oh no, she's my daughter. See, when you start interacting with these animals,
of course,
they are so intelligent. They play games. Dante went through an obstacle course that we created in order to try to get to.
I can just see it now. We're on ESPN, and here it is: pig agility.
They're so smart. They're so wonderful. They're so gentle, and they are so grateful. Oh, yeah. And they love their families, and they want to be with their families.
Absolutely.
But Teri is the pig expert. So what happened was,
yeah, Teri is the pig whisperer. I'm sorry, Caesar, but you got the right person here. So you have to separate husband from wife, daddy from piglets for safety and other reasons. And now this is where I want you to jump in, Teri. How did you become a pig expert? I went to Purdue, but I didn't become a pig expert at Purdue. I mean, how did you, and what did you think when you got the call? They need you to help reunite Dante and Beatrice and the family.
Yes. I became a pig expert by just doing it. I took in a large hoarding case to 24 pigs, and you learn really fast when you have that many pigs to suddenly take care of. And they had reached out because Beatrice and Dante were fighting when they would try to put them together.
There's no pig marital counseling services yet, right? No.
There is. And it's indicative of people that get the pigs and they don't do enough research. They do a great job, but they had no idea how to introduce them safely.
Yeah. And that's a lot of pounds with a sour attitude.
It is.
That could be there could be a lot of injuries.
Yes, very much so. So I tried to walk them over the phone a couple of times, and because I live a little bit south, a few hours south of them, and they still weren't getting along. So we made arrangements to go up and personally do the introductions, and it turned out beautifully.
So what's a tip you can give people who are responsible, that may be doing some rehab places and all that have these beautiful pigs? Is there a couple of tips you can give them on how to reduce fear, anxiety, stress? Because that can take a toll mentally and physiologically in the body.
Absolutely. And I can tell you that those pigs are so sensitive. They could feel your trepidation. They could feel your fear. And I think more than anything, if you go, I've always found, and it's with any animal, you walk in with a calm heart and everything you're being, you're like, this does not bother me. It's great. Even though you might be terrified, you don't let them feel that. Feel your heart. Absolutely. They know if they like you or don't like you. They know if you're a good person. They can see right through to your soul. So it's a matter of partially being that calm person and knowing what you're doing. There's a hierarchy in herds, of any herd, and in particular.
So do chicks rule over dudes in the pig world? Please say yes.
It depends.
Oh, okay. All right. So they get pretty big. They can be like 150, almost 200 pounds, correct?
Absolutely. Yes, they can.
All right. So this is where I'm going to bring the very calm Jane back in. Jane, you got this reality show. You're getting the word out. What can we do? What can we do? The people who are listening, what can they do to help so that we may get some legislation, some fine, something to prevent people from being swindled by thinking the pig will never get bigger, which I'm sad to hear that people even believe that. What's kind of the next stage? I want everybody to go unchainedtv.com after the show. Check it out. Check out the series. You are going to be eyes wide open. So talk to us. What can we do? What's some game plan?
I think the first thing we can do as human beings is just to hit the pause button and say, wow, have I been giving these other animals the respect that they deserve in my daily decisions? And nobody's perfect. I mean, I was not born plant-based.
Well, I don't think any of us was.
No, no.
Thank God for more plant-based proteins out there.
Right. And just say, would I want anything that's done to these animals done to my dog or cat? Obviously not.
Good.
We are loving people. But what's happened is that society has gotten together and agreed on a lie. And that lie is that the suffering of pigs, cows, chickens, turkeys, goats, and lambs just doesn't count. You don't have to worry about that suffering. The problem is you do. That's not the case. And when you look at evil in society, all evil boils down to people saying that suffering doesn't count. I'm going to care about this suffering, but there's this one group, well, their suffering really just doesn't count. And it's usually because society is pushing that for money.
Right.
And they're making money off of it. And this is exactly what's happening. Now, we're getting to a point of no return. Even the largest meat company, Smithfield, which, by the way, is owned by a Chinese company that is in turn very much controlled by the Chinese government. So when you buy, you think all American Smithfield? No, you're supporting the Chinese government, people. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
But there's only about 6 corporations that run this whole show. We are going to be doing a RAP Summit, which is a rancher advocacy program. We work with ranchers and farmers. Many of them want out. This is not farming. Yeah. This is not the farm that you see in Little House on the Prairie. These are giant, massive warehouses with hundreds of thousands of animals who never see the sky except on the ride to the slaughterhouse. And it's hurting the farmers. These are good people. They are often put in these horrible loans where they are essentially indentured servants. So as a brilliant man said to me, we're all being factory farmed. It's not just the pigs and the cows and the chickens. People are getting sick from the food, the antibiotic resistance, the pesticides, the chemicals, the high cholesterol, resulting in heart disease, which is the number one killer aside from pandemics. And all processed meat is cancer causing, according to the World Health Organization. So people are getting sick. The farmers and ranchers are also getting sick. They're going into these warehouses. Often they have to wear masks. It's terrible for the animals. It's horrible for the climate because trees absorb carbon. We've destroyed almost, at the rate we're going, destroying wildlife habitat to create cattle grazing land, we will have no wildlife within a decade. I mean, 0. We will have, and then we're going to collapse because, 2 out of every 3 bites of food we have depend upon pollination. If we destroy the food chain, we ourselves, we're starting to see it now. It's no longer hypothetical. It's coming down the pike. So what starts is compassion. If everybody listening just said, okay, I'm going to rethink this. And maybe I'll avoid eating pigs. And we pretty much have to go into denial. We know what pigs are, bacon and hot dogs and ham slices. And so, choose something else better for your health. It's better for the planet. It's better for the pigs. And guess what? You'll be happier. We've been sold this line of goods that, oh, this is a sacrifice. What are you going to eat? Grass? No, actually, there's tens of thousands of fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, and legumes that can be arrayed in many, many combinations. And throughout history, that's what people have eaten. Factory farming and fast food is a very new phenomenon. It's not even a blink of an eye in the span of geologic time. It's a blink of an eye. It's unsustainable. When I was a kid, there wasn't that much fast food. It was new on the horizon. So now you go on a strip, every other joint is a fast food joint. This is making people sick. It's packed with sugar, salt, and fat, which is, we are biologically pre-programmed to crave those items. So they pack it knowing that you have it, and then a couple hours later you want it again. That's called addiction. And so the only power we have is the power to walk away from that and actually eat fruits, vegetables, nuts, and grains. The other day I was in the supermarket.
Wait a minute, take a breath, one breath, just take a breath because we got to wrap up pretty soon. And
okay.
I have hit a nerve with you, Jane, which is a good thing. But you went to the store because I want to wrap this up nicely. Go ahead.
Well, everybody was in a line. There was all this fast food and packaged food. And then I saw this one couple in the front and they had fruits and they had some carrots and they had some cabbage and some avocados. And I said, I wonder if they're vegan. No, when they started talking, they were French. In other words, this is how people throughout history and many people in Europe still eat. They actually eat food.
That's right.
And that's
real
what we
food.
all need to do.
That's right. Amen, sister. Can I call you sister? You're my sister. All right. So before we leave, I want to make sure people check out Unchained TV. Yes, I want you to check out Pig Little Lies. It's an amazing 5-part series. You're going to fall in love with Dante and Beatrice. And I guess you fell in love with Valentino, Jane.
He fell in love with me.
No. Tell about Valentino.
Well, first of all, I really urge everybody to support Saving Animals and Healing Hearts. It's a wonderful organization. And, Teri drove hours to get there to reintroduce these animals, which she did. They were happy. Now they're all a big, happy family. I saw them last weekend. They're all huddled together, Mama and Papa and the babies, and they're having a great time. And it really brought tears to my eyes. They really love their families and want to stay together. Once they were introduced properly, which is simply that Mama wants to protect her babies. Okay. Right. That's why they were arguing, because you have to design it in a way where Mama feels that her babies are safe when you introduce them.
Oh, yeah. Don't get between a pig and their piglets. No, especially Mama.
They're all happy together. And it was just so heartwarming. And essentially, I just hope you support Saving Animals and Healing Hearts. I hope you check out UnchainedTV.com. We have hundreds of videos, cooking videos, music videos. Our country music star is performing. I mean, we've got a lot of fun. It's all free. You don't have to get a subscription. You don't even have to put in your email. You can go to UnchainedTV.com and click Watch Now, and Pig Little Eyes is right there. And it's just a lot of fun. It's not lectury. Okay, maybe I've been a little lectury today, but the show is not lectury.
It's for a major reason why. I have no problem with that. Trust me. Miss Teri, before we leave, people can go on to your non-profit Saving Animals and Healing Hearts, going SAHH4 life.org. Did I do that right?
You did it right. Yes.
Now, I saw you had some T-shirts on there. I saw there's some ways you can help get money to trim hooves and be able to care for all different critters. Can you give a shout out? Because you're doing this. And like I said, at the very top, I think your motto. What was your motto? Tell us your motto.
That one act of kindness can make the change in the world.
Yep.
You just snowballs if you do it right. Smile, be kind, be compassionate, think your choices through before you make them.
So how can people help you out specifically? I mean, they can sponsor an animal every month. I mean, what are some of the things? Give people some tangibles.
We have, of course, T-shirts and SAHH gear for sale. We have sponsorships for different kinds of animals. We have Patreon, which is a monthly setup fee where we know exactly how much is coming in at the end of each month by who signs up for it, which is very helpful, especially with the prices of feed going up so high. It's more than doubled in the last year. It's crazy. And just get the word out to everybody else. If one person says there's no such thing as that tiny pig that you're trying to buy, it just snowballs from there. Do your research.
Yeah, they do grow up. And I'm just wondering if there's going to be a sequel to Dante, Beatrice, and the family. Is there any plans there, Jane?
Oh, yes. We've already got a series shot called You Gotta Have Hope. Hope is a chicken, a hen who lives with a family here in Southern California, a man, a woman, and the woman's mother, and several dogs. And Hope, the hen, rules the entire house. And she also fetches. She also does tricks. And she is super smart. And she's very demanding. And the series, You Gotta Have Hope, is going to premiere in August, early August. So keep going back to UnchainedTV.com. And you will love this series.
All right, I'm hooked. You got me. You had me first at pigs. Now you got me at hens. I don't know. We're talking to two dynamos, everyone. I want to give pause and applause first to Jane Velez-Mitchell. She's the founder of Unchained TV. And also Teri Crutchfield, you are with the Saving Animals and Healing Hearts. It's in Ramona, California. Ladies, I really appreciate you both being on the show. And everyone, listen to what both of them are saying. We can make a difference. So at this time, I also want to give a shout out to my producer, Mark Winter. He's the surgeon of sound. We are on the largest pet radio network on the planet, and the O Behave Show has been the longest running pet podcast since 2007. So we're very happy about that. Guys, want to check me out? Go to ardenmoore.com. You'll find out what other things I'm up to. So until next time, this is your flea-free host, Arden Moore, delivering just 2 words to all you 2, 3, and 4-leggers out there. Oh, behave.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's Oh Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. All Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.